Good afternoon and welcome to Padre's Ponderings from the chapel.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you. It's a beautiful day in the low country at the moment.
Right, right this moment it is.
Well, we've been having this, it's kind of typical in July
Right.
for the late afternoon thunderstorms to roll through. We've been getting them. So they start coming when the hurricane lilies show up.
I used to call those spider lilies.
That's what
The red
uninformed
ones.
people do. But
Uninformed people say.
in the low country, they're called hurricane lilies. And they start popping up and they'll roll all the way through hurricane season. But they start about the time hurricane season starts. That's why the name, So. But in other parts of the world, they might call them tornado lilies or something like that. I don't know. But around here, hurricane lilies. In fact, I don't even know if those even grow in other places, do they? Do those kind of things?
I just know growing up, they were at my great-grandmother's house in her front garden.
Yep.
And we called them spider lilies.
Yep. So we got a new person starting tomorrow?
We do. Super excited. We have another person added to our office staff here in the chapel.
So is there?
She's going to be helping with lots of different areas.
So there's super excited, then there's just excited, and then there's.
Super excited is when a full-time staff person comes on board.
Whoa!
Super excited.
Well, tell us about what the full-time staff person. Tell us about the full-time staff.
She is Christian is coming from another person coming from Kentucky, moving here from Kentucky. She and her husband. Her husband's going to be a faith formation teacher at Cross Schools. Friends with Charlie Fiddler, who also came from Kentucky, and so we're excited to have her. She's going to be helping with special events we have coming up, backup for other staff members so that they can take some time off, and
Yep.
lots of different areas.
That backup thing is important because there's so much happening that there's becoming less and less room for one of the pieces to be missing.
Right.
And so, and not only is there so much happening, but there's so many people dependent on what happens.
Right.
That we got to cover more than we have in the past. And what everybody's doing is critical to what everybody else is doing.
Right, and you think about a parish our size, Risa does all funerals, and those just pop up, and you have to be ready for it. So having another person to help with things like that is really important. So excited about that.
Super excited, you said.
Super excited.
Super
Yes.
excited.
Yes.
What else is exciting you these days? That's a long pause there. Gracious goodness alive.
Oh, that's a big
You got to
one.
think about it.
That's a big one. Services this weekend
Services this weekend. Yeah.
were great. Your sermon.
A lot of people.
A lot of people have. I would say about 15 people have told me either right after service or over the past 2 days how much your sermon, reopening old wells,
Yep.
that they needed to hear it. They've asked for the link. I want to send it to all my friends
And
so that they can hear it.
That's the video for that 10:30 service. They picked on all of it. Yeah.
It's already on the website, on the media page. So if you're ever looking for a teaching, last week's Wednesday night teaching is there. Any sermons are located right there on the media page. You can go back through, and they go back to about 2 years, and rewatch some sermons.
I like the end of that service where we had the young people on the stage and Nathan was praying for them.
I'm going to be posting on social media in a little bit. Got some pictures this morning. The first nighttime session was last night. This morning they start with these games. It is so loud in that place because it's a
Hey,
competition.
tell people what's happening.
This is Passion Camp in Daytona, Florida, put on by I think it's Passion City Church in Atlanta with Louis Giglio. They do just an amazing job. They plan this all year long. I think it's about 20 to 30,000 youth in this
And
huge
we sent 60
area.
something,
We
right?
sent 50-something students and about 9 chaperones to go, and they do a competition. So before going, each group is assigned a color. And so our group was blue this year, so you'll see lots of pictures of blue. on social media this week, and they have these competitions throughout the week just for fun, and then they have worship time and teaching time and breakout sessions and all that.
Wonderful.
But
Nathan told me he was driving a bus, and
we had 2 buses and 2 15-passenger vans.
I told him there was a time when I did field trips and drove buses with children and all that kind of stuff, and I told him there's a secret to it.
What is that?
There's a secret to it. You got to realize those young people got way more energy than you do.
This is true.
So I said, we take these field trips, load on the bus, and drive down to Charleston to go to the zoo or something ever like that. 5th graders and 6th graders, 5th graders. I said, the first thing I did, we got down there, was we had a competition. And I'd pick out a tree somewhere off in the distance, and I said, the first one over there to that tree gets $1. And then when they all got to the tree, you know, and then I give them the first one back, gets $1. We do that a couple of times like that, gets rid of some of that extra energy. And then you got a chance with them. But without that, oh my goodness gracious alive. But he was excited about getting in the middle of all of it. Better him than me.
It's a good opportunity for him to get to know some of the kids.
Oh yeah. And a number of those children are from cross schools. So, and there would be ones he'd be overlapping with the faith formation. So that's real special. Very glad he's involved with that. And Tim does such a great job with that. And that many children, I think, is just amazing. Just amazing.
And the leaders that are going, several of them, this is, I think, their 5th time in going. So they are dedicated to helping out with this trip and making it happen every year. So that's key. That's crucial. Is because Tim cannot be the only youth person. We've got to have help.
And we need a lot of adults who are modeling and shepherding young people coming along, because they're looking at adults and going to track behind them for good or for bad. Yeah.
Last Wednesday night, we had mixed generational table groups, and a lot of people commented how nice it was to have conversations about discipleship with youth.
Now, will they keep the same groups together each week, or do
I don't know. We're creatures of habit, so I have a feeling. I know some of the tables really mesh together well, and will probably stick together.
But it's not
But
intentional.
it's not assigned. No,
Okay.
no.
Well, that's great, because you know over 5 weeks you can make some good relationships in there if you're staying with the same basic group each time.
And that's what we're hoping is out of this will come some people that would like to form a small group and be in a small group together. So, all good. And dinner tomorrow night, guess what it is?
No telling.
Fried chicken.
Really?
So you're going to show up for that?
I might for fried chicken. I mean, I was there last week.
You were.
You know, and pizzas, I'm not much on that, but.
It's fried chicken, macaroni and cheese. I think it's
Whoa.
right up your alley.
Where is it coming from?
Publix.
Publix.
And they have good fried chicken.
They have good fried chicken. See, if you want greasy fried chicken, you go to Kentucky Fried. If you want other fried chicken, Publix is good. Everywhere is not good fried chicken.
No, and you kind of know the spots to go.
Oh, yeah.
Cahill's is really good fried chicken.
Yeah, it doesn't take.
I think Charlie went to Cahill's this last week with Pastor Josh. And we're like, oh, their food's good.
It really is. And they gave you plenty of it, too.
Yes.
So what hit you about that sermon, so?
It's what we need to hear. It's what we need to hear in our culture right now. I think with the cell phones, social media, that a lot of parenting has been taken over by devices, unfortunately. And it's not just parents, grandparents. I mean, even if you don't have children, you can make an impact on the youth today.
I would think if I was talking to young people today about what to study in college, a future career, I would say become an orthopedist
for the neck.
or a chiropractor. For the neck, yeah.
Tunnel or carpal tunnel is a real, truly a
Because
big
we're
problem.
going to have a generation of people who walk around with their heads down.
And doctors are already saying that that's a problem. Carpal tunnel from using the thumbs text, and pediatricians are already noticing
Whoa.
that.
And see, the thing is, one of these days, the thing in front of you is going to disappear. But your neck's going to be so doggone bent, you'll be walking around, you won't be able to see what the next deal is. It's one of those things.
So through that sermon, what were you hoping to, as you were writing it, what were you hoping people were going to take
Just
away?
to set a context for the idea that that the values on which this country was founded were founded in Scripture, and that they have an eternal value that transcends societal whims, and that as people get away from the Bible, they're getting away from the principles, and so what's being formed in our society is looking more and more different than what our founding fathers ever imagined, and surely what God had in mind. And as that gets further and further apart, it becomes chaos. You know, you're back in the Tower of Babel days and all that kind of stuff. And so, you know, when things happen slowly over time, but steadily, sometimes you're just not even aware of it. You just get sucked into it and don't realize what you're being drawn into.
Slow fade.
Oh, yeah, that's a song about that.
It is a song. But that's the idea. It happens so kind of gradually that you don't really realize until it's too late.
That's right. So that idea to just let's stop and look for a second at some of that. And there is this definite idea that's out there that if it's old, it's passé. Let it go. Let it go. But there are some things that are foundational, and when you let them go, the house is on sand and not rock anymore. But you got to sort and mix. You know, your old iPhone, you can throw that away. That's fine. But the concept of integrity, you don't want to pitch that. But we're getting to that. We're at that place in many ways in our society where if it's old, we don't discriminate between that. We just don't. You know, we see it in the way we treat older people.
Absolutely.
You know, it's that idea that you have, that everything has a life value, a lifespan. See, and when we build things, we build them now. So much of what we're built we have in the way of cars and stuff is built with a lifespan in mind. We want you to be trading cars and all that kind of stuff, you know. So you don't build things that are going to last forever. You know, when I was a child, man, you had a Lionel train. That thing was made out of steel. It wasn't going anywhere. Tricycles, all that stuff. It was made to last. But now, it's made to be thrown.
It's made to be thrown so that you can buy more.
That's right. Yeah. But you know, did you know? I heard yesterday on the news they were talking about inflation and the cost of cars, and so they interviewed a car dealer, you know, and about the cost of something. And a catalytic converter, the person had one in her, and it was a lady had one in her hand. And said, 2 years ago this cost $240, something like that. She said, now this same thing, if you can get it, is $450. If you can get it. So then the reporter said, well, what's the other things that have caused that? One of the big things that's causing things to go up now is car tires. Because there's so much petroleum in rubber. He said, and the time frames. And so the person said, we're seeing more and more cars being brought in to be repaired. And she said, it used to be, the mechanic said, it used to be that if a car's repairs were going to be like $2,000, $2,500, people would just trade it in. They wouldn't invest that much in it. He said, now it's $5,000 and $6,000 that people invest in it. Because new cars are so expensive, if you can find it. And then the big point, the average age of a car on the road in the United States today is 12 years. I would never have guessed it. 12 years. And see, I just lost touch with that. You know, and I've always felt that way. The best day that you ever get in a car is the day after you threw away that coupon for making those monthly payments. And all of a sudden it was there. And then you run it till the wheels come off, you know, because it's a free ride then. But I have no idea that would be the average age of cars on the road is 12 years. But it speaks to where middle America is and where the bubble that we live in is not. And that great swath of people that's just getting nailed with different things that are going on now. And the gap gets further and further away. But that's another story.
So take care of your vehicles.
Yeah, take care of your vehicle.
Because you don't want to take it in for repair.
Vehicle. Yeah.
All right, something I'm excited about. Just popped in my head.
Just regular, super excited, or just regular excited?
No, I'm super excited about this too.
Okay, good.
We've got some women's ministry stuff coming up, and I've got
Whoa.
some people are going to be really excited about some things that ended right before COVID and are going to be coming back.
Could you give us a little
Give you
taste, a little
hint.
preview?
Bizarre.
Bizarre.
We have some women that would like to bring back the crafting.
Great.
Yeah, so a brand new group of women. So you'll start to see in the e-news, I think it's going to go in this Thursday, some information about if you're a crafter and you're interested in being involved in that.
Good.
They'll start meeting. The bazaar will not happen until 2023 because it takes a while to get the team going and then to get
You know, one of the
rolling
ladies
on
that
what
was
you're
really,
gonna
we
be
had a number of
selling.
ladies involved, but one of them that was really in it was Kate Doris. And she
Doris,
just died.
She just passed away, so I thought it was kind of special that we're going to start it back up. And
I think that's a
think
good thing.
about her.
And then
She
do you
did
have
that for years.
and then you have don't you have a ladies' day where they come in and watch video? And
We do.
When
and
is that?
That's the other thing. September 24th, we're going to have a simulcast of the Going Beyond simulcast. That's Priscilla Shire. So we're going to do that here. I'm not sure if we're going to do it in the chapel or at the school campus. Depends on the school calendar, which I haven't gotten the final one yet. But it'll be all day, and you can order lunch. And
I got a thing from the school this morning. The interim head, Mr. Evans, Dr. Evans, asked if I would say a few words to open this year's staff and faculty meeting and all that on the 8th of August, I believe it is. Or maybe it's the 4th of August at 8, or the 8th. Anyway, first week in August.
I know teachers come back pretty quick.
Very
Actually,
fast.
So we're excited about that. Meeting with some ladies to start planning maybe a retreat coming up. We haven't had a women's retreat in 3 years because we didn't have one during COVID. So maybe have a retreat in the January, February time. So information hopefully will be coming out about that.
Go away retreat or
looking to
in-person
have
here?
it maybe more local. We were going to St. Simons, Georgia, which was lovely, but maybe have it a little more local so it can be more of an affordable option
Oh, yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah. You could have a much bigger group there, I would suspect.
And then for young moms too, like a lot of times on Saturday mornings you've got sports for your kids, but you could come Friday, you could come Saturday afternoon. So just give some options and choices. So excited about that. We've got some women's ministry stuff coming up.
And then we got
And the first men's event's on the books.
the 23rd is coming too.
What's the 23rd? Oh, Nathan's ordination.
Right. Nathan's right here,
here.
10 o'clock on the 23rd.
That will be streamed.
That'll be streamed. But now you're teaching this tomorrow night. It's not streamed.
It's not streamed, but it will be posted soon afterwards. It will not be
But
live.
people can still sign up for that.
You can still sign up tomorrow night. Now, one thing, some people showed up last week at 7 because typically our Wednesday night teachings have been at 7, but we started at 6:30. So dinner starts at 6. If you don't want to come for dinner, totally fine. But I would show up at least by 6:30 so you get the whole teaching.
And if you weren't there last week, it's okay.
You can still come.
I mean, you can go. You're right. And the same way, each week down the line for the 5 weeks.
Oh, absolutely.
But if you're going to eat, you need to sign up.
If you're going to eat, please sign up.
Yep.
So we can make sure we have enough fried chicken.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
Yeah.
So, are you reading anything these days? You're working on a course, aren't you?
I am. Right now I'm reading about the Gospels.
What is
in
the
a
name
textbook.
What's the course you're doing?
New Testament.
New Testament.
So it's the Gospels. I've got a couple of books going right now. Just finished one about water.
About water.
It's called Blue Mind, and it talks about how water is so healing for all of us. Like people are drawn to the water. So it was kind of a clinical type book, but it was really well done. Very good.
That reminds
The sound
me.
of water. I mean, it's amazing. The studies. If someone has a fish bowl on their office desk, the difference it makes in just their whole day.
What?
Yeah,
A fishbowl.
that was one of the suggestions in there.
You know, I was little, every now and then,
Sound machine.
get this idea of having a goldfish, you know.
I never did well with those.
You get the goldfish and you get the strands of seaweed to drop down in there, you know, and then you feed the goldfish, and the goldfish is like this. And I never could get it right. If you put too much stuff
Yeah, you
in
kill
there,
'em.
you put too much feed in there, then the water looks like milk, and they don't do well in that.
No.
They don't do well in that at all. And they don't do well in chlorinated water either.
No.
So, I mean, that's
No.
it's a struggle there. But you're speaking of water, do you know a nautical term?
Okay. I
Yeah.
probably don't, but
You ever heard the term 3 sheets in the wind?
yes, I thought that had to do with drinking alcohol,
Well, it does. But
Okay.
it's a nautical term.
but it's a nautical term.
Would you like to know what it means?
I'm
It
intrigued.
comes from the days of sailing ships.
Okay,
Square sails.
okay,
Each corner of the sail had a rope tied to it.
yes,
In nautical language, a rope is a sheet.
okay,
If you let go of 3 of those ropes or lose control of them, then you've lost control of the sail. 3 sheets in the wind is a sail that's out of control,
and just
which
flapping.
is where it's not where you can't control it. And if you can't control the sail, you can't control where the ship goes. So 3 sheets, a person who is 3 sheets in the wind can't
No
control where they're
control.
going and all that kind of stuff. So you could be the first one to know that.
Now you heard it here first.
3 sheets in the wind, yep. You know, it used to be when, God, this is a long time ago, my freshman year, between freshman and sophomore year on a Navy scholarship was on the aircraft carrier Wasp in Boston. And so you have leave, and the thing was that guys went out and just got blasted, you know. They didn't care if you drank,
Okay,
but you had to be able to get up the gangway to get back in. If you couldn't get back in
that
by
was the
yourself,
gauge.
if you couldn't get back in by yourself, then you were in trouble. If you could make it by yourself, you were all right. That's another story. Most wouldn't know that either, but
Interesting.
and you know,
Because sailors have a reputation.
yeah. And back then, this is 1962. We were in port in New York for one long weekend, and tied up next to the Wasp was 2 Canadian ships. And so me and a couple of my buddies went over we met some of the Canadian guys. So they said, come on back to the ship with us, and we'll have a beer. And I said, what are you talking about? He said, oh yeah. I said, y'all have alcohol on the ship? Yeah. When the wardroom they had there, they used to serve alcoholic beverages on Canadian ships. Didn't know
Y'all
that.
had to go
Carry
off.
you don't have that in the Navy ships. And it was a carry, and the British ships, the grog ration they would have, it was a carryover from Admiral Nelson's days and all that kind of stuff. So that's an unusual tidbit, but they don't do that.
That's an unusual tidbit.
They don't do that anymore now. Don't do it anymore. Some people got carried away. So
Okay, you got all of that from
See, it's this little,
my book about water.
well, you know, a word.
Okay.
Just
So
a
what are you currently reading?
I'm about to finish up my book on Wingate.
Oh, that was a big one. That was a really thick book.
Really thick.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. And the more I read about it, and the way people dealt with him and responded to him, he was a brilliant tactician. You know, he's just finished in Ethiopia. The work he did in Israel was amazing. Then Ethiopia, but he rubbed everybody's feathers the wrong way and all that. And, you know, he sounds just like Patton. Just like Patton. So anyway, he's fixing to go to Southeast Asia now, so, and he's going to die over there. But really, really interesting. A lot of research in the book, a lot of names and footnotes, and I like that kind of stuff. But it's true. It's not historical fiction.
Right.
So it's a biography. Very interesting. Very interesting.
It's good to read those biographies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he was engaged to a lady for a number of years. He was sent down to India, and he came back and been engaged to the lady, and he was over there for 2 years. And before he went, she was well off, and his family was all well connected too. He was hooked into the nobility in England and all that. And his fiance's family was too. And so he went to visit another family that was running that same circle. And their 16-year-old daughter came running up to him and hugged him and said, "I'm going to marry you."
Okay.
You know, just like that. And so anyway, he comes back 2 years later, meets that girl. She's now 18, and they get married. Boom. And said it was the match of a lifetime for both of them. The woman that he was engaged to is distraught. She never married again. She said, "I'll never love anybody like I loved Ord." She never married again. Anyway, but it showed pictures of the two, of all kind of stuff in there. But anyway, she was a really handsome looking lady, both of them. He was looking kind of ordinary, but one never knows.
You never know what we're going to talk about on Padre's Ponderings.
Never know. So you're flipping your foot usually when you do that. You got something on your mind.
No, it's habit.
So we got Christian coming tomorrow.
Christian's coming tomorrow. Food bank yesterday had quite a good turnout. There are two main items that we need to stock the shelves: soup and cereal. So if you go shopping and drop off food or bring to services this week, soup and cereal are the real needs.
They had over 200 again, didn't they?
Quite a few people, yeah.
The number just goes up, and a big part about that too is the God's gifts part of it, where the people can shop and then can go and get stuff from God's.
Housewares, clothing.
Yeah, for free.
For free, which is amazing. So thank you for God's Goods for coming along and providing that as well.
So we got food bank, we got children off at camp, Passion Camp. We got ordination coming up.
And I'm going to put in a plug.
A plug.
Thursday evening at 6 o'clock at, we call it the Mission Mall, but that's the God's Goods complex. We're going to have a tech meeting. I will be there. Charlie will be there. Anybody who's interested in getting involved with helping with technology on any of our campuses, there's training. I mean, we're not just going to throw you in front of a computer and say, good luck. That would never happen. But if you're interested in helping out with technology, come to the meeting on Thursday night. I'm excited about it. 6:30, I'm sorry, 6:30.
Yeah, that technology is, we're getting sophisticated with it, but at the same time, as we get sophisticated, it's not getting so complicated that you can't, because you look for people just to hit buttons and time and for all the stuff that goes on the walls and all the rest of it.
Mm-hmm. And I'll be helping here on Sunday with some of that. I try to help out with that at least once a month.
And I believe this Sunday,
we have communion at Cross
I'm
Point
here,
this Sunday.
and Nathan's preaching this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and communion at Cross Point. Right. And I believe Josh is at Historic Campus preaching, and Jonathan's there with him.
I think Josh's sermon is Fit for the Kingdom.
Okay. And I know that Nathan's is about the Lord's Prayer, part 1. That sounds exciting coming up. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got lots going on. Go to the website and click on the events tab to see all the things on the calendar. That's also where you can sign up for Wednesday night dinner. And check your e-news on Thursdays. There's always
3 o'clock.
Always new information coming into your inbox there. We've got 3 dates coming up for baptisms. So if you're interested in having a child baptized or you being recommitted or baptized, that we've got 3 dates coming up there that'll be in the e-news as well.
Those are on the historic campus.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Praise God. Lots happening in school, cranking up, and new people coming on. We need to get, one time we need to get Christian in here. Maybe let you do that by yourself and you can lead her through the path.
I think it's interesting to see you interact with the new staff.
Okay, so
I learned a lot about Charlie a couple weeks ago.
I think Charlie learned about Charlie too. But yeah, that'd be
Charlie's
good.
got a
All
lot
right, well,
going
we do it. Anyway, that's coming up. Lots happening. Praise God.
All right, well, go in peace to love and serve the Lord.
Thanks be to God. See you when I see you. In all that we do, know that God loves you, and I love you as well.